to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from this meeting. Second.
All in favor? Any discussion? So moved. Do I have any visitors or public comment?
I
Sure.
think there's a lot of people who couldn't come, so I hope it's not too lengthy, but I'll just read and make the comments, because, as I said, I usually come to talk on behalf of lots of people. We started this journey as a nonpartisan group of concerned citizens seeking to keep our community healthy and safe. We never thought we would have to fight our own local government to ensure public health, safety, and quality of life, and work so hard to do so. I recently went to the Transy Wirelessing Silica Station, which had drew our attention to the silica matter based on the several complaints that they had received from the time they started as recently as 2013. And I just filed a complaint on January 20th because there were visible emissions. I took a picture. The hose was not attached to the hatch, and I did get unhealthy readings from that study, which you folks knew about since October, because that was one of the reasons why you wanted to work with me, Tom, because I found 3 free studies. DEP called back next day, and they're actually not going to do really anything about it. They said the emissions, when they go there, when they see them, the visible emissions are low. Well, these visible emissions were low, and it still had readings from 60 to just over 100, which is unhealthy. And based on the Citizen Sense study, I'm not sure if you ever contacted them, but they heard from someone else that there were some problems with you accepting any of the data. So they're doing a spreadsheet for you folks of the data that I collected. Unfortunately, I'm the only one in Wyoming County doing it. But there is
Who is that who's doing the spreadsheet?
the Citizen Sense. It's Dr. Benjamin Barrett. He did the air monitoring study for London, so he's very well known in Europe. So he's doing the spreadsheet just to show that it was a real study and it was not nonsense, as I was told. He did the London Air Quality Network. He specializes in the assessment of the impact of local air quality monitoring initiatives and personal exposure to air pollution. So he looks at the health issues as well, which we won't probably get from DEP. And also, of course, you knew about the Texas, and I didn't mention West Virginia study, and someone from Wyoming may be coming in February. At the recent Tunkhannock Township meeting, those who attended learned that the county has the ability to do spot zoning. So when you said your hands were tied, and Ace Shoup even said that that was the case, that was at Tunkhannock Township. The county has the ability to do spot zoning even when townships have no zoning, so your hands are not tied to protect other spots in the community. Someone was there from the Planning Commission, and they said, if they don't have the tools, they can't protect the community. So I think it's time that they start getting the tools that they need. And you could provide spot zoning in some areas now that need it, particularly like Meshopin. There's certain areas that have serious issues, whether you think so or not. Maybe you don't live there, so it doesn't matter. And you could say that that's a bad statement, and I don't really care at this point because I've caught so many lies now.
Audrey, let's just keep the. Do you have a lot more? We have a lot to discuss this morning, and I want to give you your share.
I just don't want to get cut off, or I'll pass it to someone else to continue. Because
it's our meeting, but okay. But I've given you 5 minutes. Maybe we could go to 10 and stop
there. Tom, you defamed my character, so it's your best interest
Audrey,
to listen.
We're not even going there.
You don't need to today, but I'm just telling you that a lot of questions came up, and you want me to
finish.
You cut us off at every meeting we go to, all of us, and it's been said.
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
DEP's new proposal, we did a right to know. You chose to just pass to higher change without knowing what would be in the DEP proposal, because Tom said it wasn't written yet. So that makes me wonder if you're doing your due diligence, not knowing what their plan is and being so sure. And I did a right-to-know request, and as of Thursday when they put up the weather station, they still did not have their proposal done. EMA Director Gene Ziak was here December 17th and offered his weather station and his data. So I'm wondering why they're putting up a weather station now. Why is that?
Well,
Wasting.
I don't believe that weather station is operational, is it?
I have no idea.
I haven't seen any record.
So that's a waste of taxpayers, state taxpayers' money to put up a weather station for 8 to 10 months when we should have all that data from the EMA, $1 million new building.
Yeah, sorry about
Yeah,
that.
and I don't know when anybody voted to spend that $1 million, since we were told we would have to vote to spend any money on change.
We did hire change.
Change one.
Last meeting.
What was the $1 million?
Yes.
You did not hire
You did.
change to do a
Contingent upon
study.
The
Right.
It is the state's
Wait a minute,
information.
that was contingent upon the solicitor's approval.
Correct.
Mhm.
I didn't hear an approval or disapproval for
Right, right. We're
And-
still
and you have the
a new
change contract and it's
come in.
signed?
A new contract.
I don't feel that this is a place to
Okay.
argue back and forth. I just,
Okay, well, I'm
to
just
your point.
explaining. Both you and Judy said that the townships
Don't-
were not interested
we're
in
a
using
group of
impact
commissioners.
fees. And no, this was only from you both. And you both said that they had no interest in using impact fees
I said that nobody contacted us to use impact fees.
because they didn't even know about it because you never contacted
You
them.
have been going to the meeting for months, I think. I don't know if you have or not.
Yes,
Sorry.
I have, but I've
Okay.
gotten emails from several supervisors saying they were never contacted or asked.
We didn't ask because we had a plan.
Townships,
And it's in effect.
they didn't know anything about it.
You have
You
3
said
months.
that you received a letter. You actually said that on the December 30th meeting. You were looking for the letter. And there was no right-to-know letters. According to my right-to-know, there weren't any. Let's see. Also, when townships have to make a decision whether to use impact fees, a lot of them share the same solicitor with the county, so that seems to be a conflict of interest somewhat. And it's not, not to be derogatory to Mr. Litwin, but he's going to look out probably for the county's best interest, what they want, versus the township. Impact fees, the 0.5% was misquoted. It was not the $7,500 that I said was less than 0.5%. It was phase 1, the $40,000. And the township and counties combined have collected over $7 million so far. So to spend $150,000 to protect public health and safety, I think it's a very sad statement that this community will not do that. Also, one of the excuses was because we needed to help people with the flood, and I'm wondering what happened to FEMA monies, how much, what they were used for, why are impact fees needed. So that will be my next right-to-know request, the records of that. And Dr. Kristen Pierce recently did a study which will be published, peer-reviewed, November 2015, that shows the harms of silica, that they've had high readings. So moving forward, we have been, and I know you're aware, that we've been raising our own money, even if we to do our own study, and even if it doesn't go through in time before the silica station, we will still do a study afterwards, because it's never too late. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. I just want to let the public know that we have been in contact with Mr. McCauley several times over the last couple of weeks, and just yesterday he had a new proposal for us to help us better understand everything, and we were going to talk about that this morning. And also, we've had several meetings with DEP and EPA. I don't want the public to think that we haven't done a thing about this, and I just want to share that with everybody. Any other public comment or visitors' comment? If not, then we need to move into to ratify the fourth quarter 2014 tax claim disbursement. Or do we just need to ratify it? Oh, okay, so it's done? We don't need a motion? I saw it was on our agenda.
We
Okay.
need a motion to ratify.
Okay.
To ratify it.
The motion's been made, second. Any comment? So moved. ABM Building Solutions Agreement. We put out a bid for a company to help with our...
It's a guaranteed energy savings contract.
And we put the bids out, and we've decided to go upon an agreement here today with ABM Building Solutions. Do I hear a motion?
So moved. It's a guaranteed energy program that they come in and if they can save you the money that's guaranteed, then we will do the repairs that are necessary.
So they actually come in and go through each of our buildings to see which is the most efficient, which isn't. I know that our 911 center and the jail were two spots that we've decided to pick and to try to do some energy efficient solutions with them. If they can't do it, then they move on. It's not a cost to the county unless they can come up with a solution. So, motion's been made. I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. We have a children and youth purchase service agreement.
Do we have a budget?
County is just, the only one I'm opposed to right now is the EHAB one.
Right.
I won't sign that right now, there's some problems.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, we'll pull, we pull that.
Yeah, there's your kids' piece, Youth Service Agency, Clear Vision, and Cornell Abraxas.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to sign this.
Second.
A motion's been made and second. Any discussion? So moved.
Just take the EHAB off.
Okay.
Scary, isn't it? Yeah. Please stay.
Almost there.
I always love how they erased all those
I know.
trees on these things. I would have a one-page.
At least we don't have a copy.
Yeah. You know, have to meet certain state requirements and stuff. I mean, one-pages meets.
Don't see what you can. Okay. On the agenda is the Planning Commission Board appointments.
Yes, I spoke to Ed Coleman, and he's agreed to do it. The only ones he's gonna be absent for about 1.5 months through the whole year, because Florida.
Yeah.
So he's agreed to do this, and I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any discussion?
Ed Coleman.
Ed Coleman, correct.
Coleman.
Yep. You're welcome. Billy, any reports or? Nothing? Mr. Whitman?
I understand the lease with the magistrate's office is finished. It was signed and is going to be delivered to the commissioners. And I
Correct.
revised the agreement with the consultant, but I have not heard back, so I don't know if that's the status of that.
They said that they would send that to me, but I haven't gotten it yet, so I don't know. I mean, the veterinary, yeah, the lease for Mr. Plummer's office. I should have it today. They called me yesterday morning, said they were sending it right out.
And we've already voted to approve that?
Based on your,
Based on
yeah,
your-
your approval, so, yeah.
That was for a year.
Yeah.
3 year. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Do we have anything from the DA we have to take care of?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Yeah, yeah.
Says new appointment for his assistant.
The district attorney has asked to fill in a spot for a full-time district attorney, assistant district attorney. And so now we're going to go from 2 part-time district attorneys to 1 full-time and 1 minimal part-time district attorney. You selected attorney Timothy Carroll to fill the full-time assistant district attorney. We need a motion.
Who is Timothy Carroll?
Timothy Carroll resides in Pittston, and that's all I know about him. He worked part-time with the district, or with the judge in Luzerne County, and he did an internship with the probation department in Luzerne County. Jeff's done thorough. He's gone through. This was his pick out of everyone.
How many other candidates were there?
I don't know. He said there was nobody here locally.
Nobody here locally applied for this?
No, they applied, but there was nobody here locally that would do it full-time.
You guys can go ahead, I have a problem with that.
We can table it, but
No,
in the meantime, we're
you guys
paying.
wanna go ahead,
Well, if you have a problem with it, then
Yeah,
maybe we should
I-
ask Jim.
No, my problem is, we have people in Wyoming County who are fully qualified to be as assistant.
I totally agree, but when I asked Jeff about it, none of
And we're hiring people
them,
from Luzerne County.
I agree too, but
Yeah.
nobody took it.
nobody took it from Wyoming County. There was nobody. I do know the 2 people that applied in Tunkhannock, but they didn't want it full-time. And that's what we wanted as the,
Well, that's my
Commissioner.
objection to it, so you guys can go ahead and move with it.
I'll table it. But it's going to cost us some money before we
You
get
don't
it
have
done.
to table it. You
Well, I
can
don't know
make a
either.
motion.
I agree with you. With no motion, it sits. Unless you want to make a motion. All right. Is that it?
And do we have to do?
Do you want to do that thing?
We're gonna do what we have to decide to do it.
Okay. We did speak to Mr. McCauley several times over the last week. Yesterday we talked to him about his help with us. We sent a new contract. He did have some suggestions and some different opinions on the contract. He sent us that. He wants to move, instead of it costing the county $7,500 up to $7,500. He doesn't feel that he can do that for that amount. He'd like to move it to $25,000 with a cap at $25,000. I have his new approval, or his new contract here, but with the approval from our solicitor, I want him to look it over. I'd like to
Well,
know how you guys
wait a
feel. I'd
minute,
like to
that's
talk
not
about it.
entirely true, because Tim's contract, the first one, for 7,500, he could do. Then our solicitor drew up
But he
different...
wasn't happy with that, though, Ron. He wasn't.
He was fine with that.
No.
And our solicitor was sent to him for remarks, and what we got was another contract. That's what we got. And now Tim's saying, hey, what, do you want me to do all this stuff? Fine, I'll do it, but it's gonna cost $2,500, not $7,500.
25,000, not
I'm
75,000.
sorry,
That's all right.
25,000.
It's
So, I
actually,
just wanted to straighten that out before it went any further.
it's actually a cap at 25.
It's
We don't
capped at
necessarily have to spend the
25,000, yes.
25,000. It's just capped at that. But the solicitor did have some problems with the first contract. When I asked Mr. McCauley about it, he said that it wouldn't give us the full help that we needed. He just wanted to get his foot in the door there with that $7,500. And he told me that himself, so I want to make sure that's clear also.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, because the motion was on the floor.
Right,
and
right.
There was no response to that motion from the solicitor, so except a new contract.
I asked, the solicitor contacted and asked, he said there was some problems with that. I called Tim, asked Tim if I could send him a new contract, and that's what happened. And he was fine with that up until yesterday.
My question is, was the motion made and seconded dependent upon the solicitor's approval and everybody
Well,
accepting it? Does that nullify that motion?
The contract that we received was more of a subcontract. The terminology was wrong. All of the provisions didn't apply to this type of relationship we have. So the contract had to be restructured to reflect a contract between the county and this person as a prime contractor. But the major problem with the contract is it didn't describe what this person would do for the money. It said he would act as a consultant for $7,500, period. It didn't have any duties. It didn't describe what he would do as a consultant, and I felt that needed to be clarified. So I essentially kept the terms from his original contract, changing it to a prime contract rather than a subcontract, and clarified what he would be doing. And my understanding is he was charging hourly at $200 an hour.
Up to 7,500.
And he would be reviewing data and documents and reporting to the commissioners his interpretation of that data and documents.
Thank you, Paul.
Your question is?
So is our motion that we've already done to hire him, is that still okay, or do we need to make a new motion?
Null and void.
Null and void, with you looking over the new
If he's
contract?
changing the terms from 7,500 to 25,000, that's
Yeah, it was
substantial.
made
Right.
a motion.
Right.
Yeah.
Very
So
good.
the other motion has been
Gone.
done because
The contract wasn't accepted.
contract wasn't
Right, so
accepted.
what you're saying is, as solicitor, don't accept the contract.
No.
The one that was proposed.
Right.
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 So that motion is now null and void, right? Or it's whatever. it is.
Okay, so we can make a new motion today to hire him with a cap of 25,000.
Which I'd be glad to do.
So would I.
I second.
All in favor? Any comment, or?
Do you want me to look at this?
Yes.
Yeah,
But
with the
approval.
solicitor's approval, correct.
And this is
Thank you.
obviously much more extensive.
Right, and I have a copy of
Data.
that from Mr. McCauley, so I'll give that to
So
you.
the only difference is that the terms of what he's going to be doing are now clarified?
Correct.
He wants the cap.
And the cap is moved higher so that he can do some more extensive work with us.
More extensive research into the data and information,
Correct.
which would be just more specific.
Which should be a good thing.
Motion made second. I made the motion, Judy.
I said all in favor? Aye.
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 I thought I did that.
And
Wasn't
Paul,
on
after you
purpose.
review this, if there's any problems with it, would you please let all three commissioners know? Because I didn't know anything until...
He sent an email to all of us, or I forwarded it to all of us. I don't know, maybe you just missed it, or... but we have a copy of it. I have a new copy also.
I believe I sent it to Bill. If you want me to change it.
Very good. Send it
Yeah.
to Bill.
No,
You make sure.
I didn't know there was a problem between us.
Did I send it to you, Bill?
What else do we have? That's too bad.
Bill, is that Seco Do we have to do anything with that, or is it just,
Harry already did that before.
I know we did it before.
Yeah, that's good for 5 years now.
Okay, so they've approved it.
That's a federal requirement now.
PennDOT has approved it for 5 years, and we're now done with that. Good. Okay.
Okay, any written communications? The Commissioner's report, I did attend a meeting yesterday in Nicholson where they're doing the new tourism center on behalf of the other 2 commissioners and myself. We're helping them with the tourism center. I got some information. Spoke to PennDOT yesterday. Everything's been approved. It's moving along. There's probably a 6-month wait here for all the paperwork and everything to get done. They were hoping to start this for their 100th anniversary this summer, but it's not going to happen.
What happens, the county was a pass-through for money for them to
Correct.
get this through.
Really
So
awesome.
you folks know that.
Really awesome deal.
So what's not going to happen before
Well,
the celebration?
the money and everything has to be approved, and then it has to be, it's going through the state and everything first, so it's going to take some time. There's usually a 6-month waiting period once it's been approved to get the money, so you can't start working until everything's been
Part of
approved.
this before the welcome sign, wasn't it?
It is
Yeah.
welcome.
They're going to get
Yeah.
welcome, but are they going to get that before the anniversary?
This is cool. The welcome sign's going to come before the anniversary.
Welcome sign.
Yeah, and they're going to have a sign up with that and a fence around it and everything, so people can see what's coming. But the anniversary, it just won't be done for that. That was disappointing at the meeting yesterday, but it was bittersweet because everything got approved also. So I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to be beautiful.
It's a PennDOT transportation program,
Right.
and they take months to get through.
Right. That's like our trail and stuff. It's the same kind of deal. So that was interesting. I also attended a drug and alcohol meeting yesterday with Luzerne, Wyoming County. That's probably all I have.
Had an aging meeting where our brand-new director of aging for Luzerne, Wyoming County
It's not working.
worked a total of 2 weeks before the governor snatched her up. And now she's the head of aging for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So now we're going to have another search committee looking for another.
Well, good for her.
Again.
I think that was a short.
Hey, I guess we
wasn't it?
picked a good one.
Yeah,
right?
it was a good one. But we were without one for what, 2 years or so? And we had one for 2 weeks.
I'm tired of doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was her name, Rose?
Teresa Osborne.
So when will she be replacing us?
No, we don't know. We have a search committee.
Okay.
She just started.
Now,
What did the governor
First of
take
the
her
year.
for? What is she going to,
she's going to
Same.
be director of aging.
for the state?
Yeah.
Okay.
New head.
At least hopefully she'll remember us when she's down there.
She will. I have her cell number.
That's good. Yeah. Any new business?
Yeah.
We do have bills.
So
Do I have a motion to approve the bills?
moved.
Haven't seen.
Okay. Here, let's pass.
Can we address the district attorney before we adjourn?
Sure. We can do that. Or we can.
Go ahead, well, I'm just
Okay, well, I was just looking at the county code on assistance, and the district attorney is permitted to appoint assistants. The salary board fixes the salary of the assistants.
That's right.
So what, I didn't see what,
He can certainly pick whoever he wants, and we'll set the salary. But I'm just objecting that we have enough qualified attorneys in Wyoming County that should have been one of those.
but I didn't see what he submitted, what did he,
Oh, he asked that we hire.
well, he hires, so the
He
issue
hires,
is.
he hires, we just set the
Right.
salary
Right,
And we've set the salary.
and set everything.
okay.
Dear Commissioners, I have selected Attorney Timothy Carroll to fill the full-time Assistant District Attorney position in my office. His planned start date is February 2nd, 2015. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Very truly yours, Jeffrey Mitchell.
Okay, so there's no
As they
action
put,
required.
he's selected.
So there's no action
Not doing
required.
anything.
Okay.
What is
I
his-
didn't
That's
understand.
What is the salary?
Was it 50? Thank you. Thank you.
I honestly can't remember.
52, okay, I remember it. 52.
Because we are having a savings based on.
Right, the other ones
Part-time,
had no
full-time
insurance.
and part-time, and part-time not taking insurance. So that's gonna be a saving. Is that?
I honestly don't know if it was
Reason-
50 or 52.
That's a
at this
reason why
moment.
that was done that way.
Bill, do you know the approximate savings per year?
I don't, I'd get it for you.
Okay.
And,
It depends on when, it also depends on when that new person was gonna start. Because why is because the person has health insurance may continue for another month.
Correct.
So that could have its own impact with.
So am I right? We don't have to have this approved here? It's already...
Yeah, what you do basically get people on payroll, it needs to be in the minutes that you've approved those appointments. Yeah, the elected officials could appoint people, but
Right.
you still have to be able to give those minutes to show that that person was.
So the only...
First check.
We've done that for years, unless you want to change it, but we've done that for many years.
You may.
Thank you.
But you have not approved.
No, Chairman tabled it.
Thank you.
So what does that mean, though? He's not on the payroll?
Well, you put down the effective date of February 2nd.
Our next meeting is February, that first week.
If we don't technically hire, he hires, correct? That's what
He
you're
hires,
saying.
we set the salary. But Bill's saying
You
that
won't
there's some
technically get
action.
paid until after.
So, I mean, I don't understand.
Would have accepted it, but with what's out there, I don't know. Maybe there is somebody local, but I was told there wasn't.
Bill, wouldn't his letter to the commissioners be included in the minutes?
Correct.
Yes, should be included in the minutes, yeah.
Okay.
So that would reflect.
That he's hired by the DA, okay.
Right.
So, enter the letter into the minutes for sure.
Okay.
Okay, that's done.
Letter.
So now he's approved.
I didn't say that.
Hmm?
So now
The
he's.
DA hired him.
DA hired him, so,
I just wanted to know that I thought it should be something from Wyoming County, and that was right.
And we all agreed on that. But I know that there wasn't anybody that wanted that today.
Go find somebody from Wyoming County, you know, anybody from the Joint County.
Okay.
Have a
Do I-
problem.
Did we approve the bills? Can't remember.
I made a motion to approve the bills, Ron said he hadn't seen them yet.
Okay.
All right, second. I saw
Okay.
him now.
A motion has been made to accept the bills. Any comment or suggestions? Okay, a motion's been made to approve the bills. Do you have a motion?
Wait a minute, if the motion is needed, I make a motion that we put that letter into the minutes that the DA has hired his assistant full-time.
That might be a way of resolving it.
I'll second that.
So that means that he does go on the payroll.
If that's what's needed, that's there.
Effective February 2nd.
That's February 2nd.
You second, all in
All right, all in favor?
You could do it any way you want to. For years, we just had people that's been hired.
Oh, I understand.
If somebody turns
And I'd
around-
much rather
We can
somebody
have
from
be
Wyoming
hired,
County,
we
we
can
try that all
go
the
on
time.
payroll.
I mean, but it's just not,
Yeah, I got that.
so we call a vote. You made the motion, I seconded it, Ron said no.
No.
Okay,
Okay, and I think we all said we agreed we'd love to hire from the county, but
absolutely.
if there's no one wants to take it,
I knew there were several people from the county that came in, but they didn't want it full-time. Okay, do I have a motion for adjournment?
Sheriff, did you have something, or were you
No.
here for security?
I called the sheriff.
Okay.
I'm just going to see your
I had to say
Well, thank you.
He likes the meeting.
move to adjourn.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I was talking.
Thank you.
I
Motion's
had-
been
I
made to
had
adjourn.
comments.
Second.
That's twice.
You can't make comments if the sheriff gets called.
The sheriff's never been here before, I'm glad you came. Thank you.
No, I never
He's not
here.
Was I supposed to see you
That's
last
Well,
night?
okay. It was to do with the building.
Is your fire company doing that?
Don't blame you.
Do you need another meeting?
Yeah. Matter of fact, we just activated yesterday. We're using two of them. Right now, we have 3 trials on active 911. I am responding. And, well, we have our own dispatch, but that's going to go. So they were just activated yesterday.
You're my friend.
And so far, it's working.
I know.
They have a free trial.
Right, on both sides.
They do. More to it that we can do.
I want to make sure, and next week, what's coming next week?
And I think that's probably.
That's not that big a segment. Right, okay. I'd appreciate it.
That'll probably take over a week.
Oh, I'm not, what about the,
Wait a minute.
You go